Well, I don't know if I should say good evening or good morning since I haven't been to bed, but we are Christan Death.
I'm Juli.
I'm Mike.
My name is Valor, and we performed here last night, in the Wave Gothic at the Agro Messa.
We had such a fun time, it was really incredible. Amazing! Like, look at all these people that can get together and be themselves and express themselves and be who they want to be for a whole 4 days long.
One of my favorite things is just coming into Leipzig and seeing 90% of the population wearing black clothes. Which, it's a random thing, of course, it only happens, once a year, but it's still kind of awesome. I'd like to see that happen all over the world. Not that black is the thing, it's just that people being different. People doing their own thing, people just having fun for art and entertainment and fashion all in one thing. It's just great. I'd like to see it happen in more places around the world, but sadly, not. This is one of the things that makes it so special. Leipzig is such a nice, beautiful town. It's a big town, and to see so many people with a similar passion and taste for the same kind of art is really inspiring.
I think maybe 4 days isn't enough either. Maybe it should be longer.
Yeah, like 365
exactly,
days would be better.
For us it is.
And so cool, all these bands. There's so many cool bands here. Like, we all get together and we all have a good time. Well, I stayed up last night and I went to see some other bands. So that's the kind of person I am. I wanted to sleep, but no, I sacrificed my sleep to hang out with people.
So that means you're a party animal, basically. No, it's just a question.
A professional party animal.
Look, she's still got her drink in her hand from last night, or at this moment, refresher. What kind of person are you, Mike? Mike 26?
I think somewhere in the middle, because of our busy schedule, we can't unfortunately stay all 4 days. Where are we playing tonight? Osnabrück. So we didn't get to experience the whole entire festival, but it's really incredible. It's something that you cannot see anywhere else. So. But that being said, we did walk around as much as we could and see other bands, and it's truly a lifestyle and something that you have to see to believe it, I would say.
I feel like every show is the same for me. It's like I make it very special every night when I play. But it is very stressful. There's hardly any sleep. It was really nice to have this.
Stay up all night?
Huh?
Nothing? No, I was just making a joke. Didn't mean to interrupt you.
I forgot what I said.
I think the thing about festivals that makes it stressful for at least, performers is that we don't usually get to have what we call a sound check, to work out all the fine details. So you never know what's going to happen. It could be chaos. Unfortunately, it wasn't for us, but it does happen. We were speaking with several different bands, friends of ours, yesterday who were having that very same discussion. And when it goes wrong, it can go really wrong. Because you're not prepared like you normally are on a normal show. You have control of every situation. You've only got so much time to get the gear on, and set up. Minutes, as opposed to 2 hours usually.
Well, it's very professional. This festival. Very well organized.
Yeah, you need to have that in that situation. If we were dealing with a bunch of bumbling idiots, it would just be disaster. Fortunately, as I've said before, the German sound crews and concert staff are very, very professional. It's comforting to know that. Had this been Chile, like one time, it would be it.
No, that's
I'm
not
not gonna
true.
go
It
there.
just depends. It depends.
It does.
I think this was definitely a highlight for our tour. Having played all over Europe, this was really something special to, like a cherry on top of something that was already really amazing. This is really the highlight for me.
No, actually, I haven't had any out of the ordinary experiences. It's always just been fun. You know, it's always been a good show here.
Yeah, I remember last night. That's a good thing. We just came back from, we just did Croatia. I don't remember.
Italy.
Italy, that's
England.
it. We had such a good time in Italy.
We're going to be in France next week.
We
Belgium.
play in my hometown, Rotterdam.
Holland,
Really
yeah.
look forward to it.
Poland.
And I get really kind of upset when people start talking about the end of the tour, because I don't like thinking about that. I just want to continue. I really like touring.
We're actually working on an album now, so we're not going to stop work. It's
Okay.
going to be continuous. And just may as well mention that at this moment our new album is called Evil Becomes You, which is a continuation or a variation on the theme of our previous album, The Root of All Evolution. We have plans to go to Italy and finish it. We have plans to, we're also in the US, we'll be doing more recording.
What I do when I go home, I love my king-size bed. I do miss my bed. I will lay in there for a while.
Well, it's nice to also have the peace and quiet of just taking a break, but I don't know if that's going to really happen with me.
It's strange when you get off of a tour and then suddenly that routine is gone, you know? Because you have this routine being with people, you're not by yourself, you're playing every night, and it's kind of like a shock. It really is. You don't know I don't know what to do with myself at night. Like, what am I doing now, you know?
Yeah.
I get anxious.
Very eclectic. I mean, all of Christian Death Records, every song usually is very different from every other song and every other album. We'll be experimenting with more sounds and processes on this album, which includes, we usually like to do classical orchestrations, but this one will have some very elaborate orchestrations. Some electronic stuff that we don't usually dabble with, but we've been inspired by Kota, who is not here at the moment. I don't even know where he really is at this time. He's from Japan, and he's got a very rare brand of electronic inspiration that he's brought to the table, and we're excited to incorporate that into what we already had the foundation for. So the variety is going to be quite different from what we've usually done. I personally don't like being pigeonholed like in a box. We've been labeled goth, you know, for the whole time just because of our dark atmosphere, I guess, which is, I think, more of a symptom of the environment and the world that we live in. I think the world situation has driven people to be more interested in the alternative to conservative culture, and this is probably the most striking alternative for a lot of people. And I think that's why people are drawn to it. I've even seen how metal has become more, let's say, quote-unquote, Gothic imagery. You know, just the imagery alone. I mean, even pop music seems to have gotten more darker, and I think that is a form of rebellion. Rock and roll has always been a rebellion since the time of Elvis Presley. In fact, I was talking with the MC last night of the show, with the Agra, and that was his first inspiration. For his primary inspiration is Elvis's, and I think it's a perfect example of, without Elvis there was no Beatles, without the Beatles there wouldn't be no Black Sabbath, etc., etc. And everything is a stepping stone to a change, and art is a very healthy way to change culture. Art has been sometimes at the basis of revolutions.